Sometimes I think to myself, what would happen if I just stopped drinking iced coffee? But then I go get myself an iced coffee and I'm like, huh, I guess we'll never know. Pro tip, if you want your eyeliner to be even, don't drink coffee before you do it.
Hey everyone, I just wanted to do a quick interruption. Today's video is sponsored by drummerboyhosting.com. It's a Catholic web hosting company with over 10 years of experience helping Catholic small business owners and ministries maintain a professional grade and reliable web hosting experience. Low cost and feature-rich, offering unlimited disk space, unlimited bandwidth, and excellent support system to make sure your online presence is always available with a 99.99% uptime guarantee. Along with hosting, they can design and develop websites for you using modern technology such as React and Node.js ecosystem or WordPress-based websites. They offer a wide array of WordPress-based templates that will allow you to get a website up and running in literal minutes using a WordPress drag and drop system called DV. If you currently have a web host and want to switch your website to a reliable and authentically Catholic web hosting company, they can migrate your website to the servers with zero downtime and no extra cost. Check them out at drummerboyhosting.com and get started on your online journey today.
Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. If you do not know who I am the religious hippie, also known as Amber Rose. You can basically find me on any social media platform. Just type in the religious hippie and you will find me. So today, it's kind of like a part 2 to the other video I did, which was movies I regret watching and will never watch as a Catholic. So now we're actually going to do a YouTube video about Catholic movies that are safe for Catholics or Catholic in general that I love and suggest. I already did a video basically saying the movies and TV shows I refuse to watch or regret watching as a Catholic. I'm going to link that video below. Now I want to throw in a little disclaimer here. Not every single movie that I'm going to mention is going to be appropriate for younger viewers under probably the ages of 13. So definitely make sure you look up the movies I mentioned before watching them if you're watching them with younger kids to make sure that it is actually age appropriate for the people you are watching it with or for yourself in general. So number 1 on my list is the Song of Bernadette, specifically the 1943 version. I'm going to read you a little tidbit from it. A young girl claims to have seen a divine vision, which prompts both a religious phenomenon and an extreme skepticism. The last time I saw this movie, I was like 6. I was really young, but it's on my list to watch again, and I believe it's on forum.org, so I might have to go check that out, but really great movie, really great directing, acting, everything. They portray Our Lady and the story of Bernadette so beautifully. Highly suggest. Number 2, you guys probably already know this, and I absolutely love this trilogy, but Lord of the Rings, and I did a whole video on this, so I'm gonna link that below in the description so you guys can go watch that. I'm not really gonna go in depth in here, but amazing. I love it so much. Number 3 is The Passion of Christ. This depicts the final 12 hours in the life of Jesus of Nazareth on the day of his crucifixion in Jerusalem. This movie is rated R. I'm just gonna tell you that right now. Lots of blood, lots of gore, obviously, because they're not sugarcoating this. They are specifically telling you what Jesus endured during his crucifixion and beforehand. It's not sugarcoated. It is real, it's raw, it's hard to watch. I highly suggest it, but if you're sensitive to blood and things like that, maybe not. But I definitely do think it's really informative and important to watch. Number 4, Unplanned. This is the backstory of Abby Johnson. So the description is, all Abby Johnson ever wanted to do was help women. As one of the youngest Planned Parenthood clinic directors in the nation, she believed in a woman's right to choose until the day she saw something that changed everything. This is a graphic movie, again. It basically actually explains. Can you not? So basically this is about Abby Johnson and what her life was like when she worked in Planned Parenthood. I really suggest watching this movie. I know a lot of people think it's like dramatized and like worked up. It's not. This is actually what a lot of women have to go through. And it's Abby Johnson's technically testimony. So I think it's really important to watch. So number 5 is The Miracle of Our Lady of Fatima. So this is the 1952 version, which is the one that I grew up watching. But I'll read you a little tidbit from it. In 1917, 3 shepherd children living just outside Fatima, Portugal, have visions of a lovely lady in a cloud. The anti-clerical government wishes to squelch the church. Reports of religious experiences are cause for concern, yet the children stand by their story and the message of peace and hope the lady brings. In the last vision, attended by thousands of people, the lady proves her reality with a spectacular miracle that is seen by everyone present, based on actual events at Fatima in the summer of 1917. The reason I suggest this film over the new film that just came out in 2020 is because it actually includes the secrets. And as much as the new film, I still haven't seen it yet, but I've seen people talk about it and I've watched clips of it. They kind of changed certain things, like Our Lady never walks to the children, and I'm really kind of upset that they didn't add in the third secret, and also that they didn't put in the first Saturday devotions. So that was really disappointing. That's kind of why I suggest watching the 1952 version, because it's more, I don't want to say accurate, but it gives you more detail. Now, if you are like me and you love cartoons, or maybe you have younger kids and you just want something that's really Catholic, but, you know, not too hard for them to watch, because I know it can be, you know, a lot of gory Catholic movies out there, I suggest Saint and Heroes. I'm sure you guys have already heard about this if you are Catholic and have younger kids, but Saints and Heroes, they're like movies, so like St. Patrick, Fatima, stuff like that. It's really easy for the kids to grasp, and it's really fun. You know, it's cartoons. I still love cartoons. I still watch them. But you can basically get them at any Catholic store, and if not, forum.org has them online too. So go check that out. Number 7 is Jesus of Nazareth. This is very similar to the Passion of Christ in a sense, but it's like the whole life of Jesus, not just like the end days of his life. It is graphic. I watched it as a kid and I liked it, but if your kids are a little bit more sensitive to that stuff, make sure you monitor. However, Jesus of Nazareth is a really well put together movie. I really enjoyed it as a kid, so I'll read you guys the description. Beginning before the Nativity and extending through the crucifixion and resurrection, this mini-series brings to life all the sweeping drama in the life of Jesus as told by the Gospels. So number 8 is The Scarlet and the Black. I watched this in high school a while ago. I really don't remember very much of it, to be honest. I'll read you the description. Vatican efforts lead to Monsignor Hugh to save Allied POWs and downed Allied airmen as the Nazis invade Rome. And I have to rewatch it now. Okay, this one's gonna be a little controversial, but I loved this movie. Capital L-O-V-E-D. I love this movie so much, and it's Trouble with Angels. 2 high-spirited young students at St. Francis Academy for Girls keeps things hopping for the challenged Mother Superior and her staff of bewildered sisters. As a teenager, I loved this movie. It was funny. It had depth in it, and one of the lead girls actually ends up becoming a nun in the end. It was comedical genius. I loved it. Number 10 is The Exorcism of Emily Rose. This is a very popular one, and not a lot of people know that it's actually based on a Catholic story. A lot of people, I guess, just assume that it's another horror movie or whatever, and that's not the case. We actually got a lot of information from Emily Rose that is like super important, so definitely go do research on it and look up what the demons said when she was being exorcised. Really important stuff. And now we have number 11, and that is Therese, the 1986 version. The mesmerizing story of a young girl's romance with God, her faith, trials, and sacrifices reveal a way of life based on love and simplicity. A contemplative film based on the true story of Saint Therese of Lisieux, a most popular saint of modern times. Her feast day was actually in the first week of October, and that was really cool. I think it's just a really cool film to watch and to remember, you know, Saint Therese by, because she really is an inspiration to so many of us out there, and to just watch her story on the screen is just so cool. I apologize for the cats running around like crazy maniacs in the background, but there's nothing I can do about that, so Alright, so now we're moving on to Catholic movies that I haven't watched yet, but I want to watch and I also suggest you should watch. So For Greater Glory has been suggested to me multiple times and so many people want me to see it, and I definitely want to see it. I haven't yet, and I plan on it. But yeah, A Chronicle of the Cristios War, 1926 to 1929, a war by the people of Mexico against the atheistic Mexican government. I've heard this is super good. It's probably going to be a little graphic. Number 2 is Doubt. A Catholic school principal questions a priest's ambiguous relationships with a troubled young student. And basically there's a nun who's a little bit more strict and like pre-Vatican II, and then there's the other ones who want to open the windows and let some fresh air in post-Vatican II. Overall, not really sure. Haven't really watched it, but I saw some of the like trailers for it and it looked pretty good, so it's on my list. Number 3 is Silence. This is the 2016 version. In the 17th century, 2 Portuguese Jesuit priests traveled to Japan in an attempt to locate their mentor, who is rumored to have committed apostasy and to propagate Catholicism. Propagate? Why do they have to use such big words? I don't really know anything about this movie, but I watched the trailer, looked pretty good, so it's on my list. Number 4. So number 4 is Fatima, the 2020 version. And even though I do suggest you go back and watch the older version, I do still really want to watch this because when was the last time we really had a Catholic movie come out besides The Diary of St. Faustina that just came out in like 2019? But we're not going to talk about that right now. So this is the description for Fatima 2020. Based on historical events, 3 young shepherds in Fatima, Portugal, report visions of the Virgin Mary, inspiring believers and angering officials of the church and the government who try to force them to recant their story. As far as I can tell, the movie itself is really well done. I know some other Catholic YouTubers said that the part where Our Lady shows the children hell is a little scary, so maybe don't let the kids watch that part, or let them watch it. It's up to you. It's your own decision. But I still really want to watch it just because, I mean, come on, it's a Catholic movie. Number 5 is A Man for All Seasons. The story of Sir Thomas More, who stood up to King Henry when the king rejected the Roman Catholic Church to obtain a divorce and remarry. Number 6 is The Mission. Now this one is the 1986 version, and this is the description. 18th century Spanish Jesuits tried to protect a remote South American tribe in danger of falling under the rule of pro-slavery Portugal. This one was suggested to me multiple times, and I really haven't gotten around to watching it. However, it is on my list, so hopefully we'll get there within the next few weeks. Okay, and the last one is There Be Dragons. Arising out of the horror of the Spanish Civil War, a candidate for canonization is investigated by a journalist who discovers his own estranged father had a deep, dark, and devastating connection to the saint's life. I heard that this one's really good, and it's very highly recommended by a lot of my Catholic friends, so worth a shot. Now, obviously, there are more Catholic movies than the ones that I mentioned, so I'm gonna link below kind of like a list of Catholic movies, and you guys can kind of scroll through them. There are a lot, so yeah, just kind of scroll through those. I'm basically just picking out the ones that I want to see and which ones that I liked the best. Okay, so now I wasn't really gonna add this part, but then I kind of decided why not. So this is gonna be movies and TV shows that are Catholic friendly. So that basically means they're not exactly Catholic movies, but they're friendly for, you know, people who are Catholic. This one wasn't on my list, but I just thought of it, and it's actually Little House on the Prairie. I loved Little House on the Prairie as a child. Yeah, Little House on the Prairie, super cute, love the series. Also, Michael Landon is, I love Michael Landon. He also directed and starred in another movie called Highway to Heaven. Such a good series. If you guys have not watched Highway to Heaven, which is also not on my list, go watch it. Okay, getting back into my official list. The first one I have is The Sound of Music. I feel like this is a no-brainer, obviously. A woman leaves an Austrian convent to become a governess to children of the naval officer widower. I love The Sound of Music. The music, the actors, the Julie Andrews in general. I love Julie Andrews. Number 2 on my list is It's a Wonderful Life. We watched the black and white version. I'm sure there's a colored version out there by now. But we have the OG one. We have it, you know, VHS tape, OG, black and white. I think we also have it on DVD. But this is the description. An angel is sent from heaven to help a desperately frustrated businessman by showing him what life would have been like if he had never existed. But it's just such a wholesome movie, and it's so sweet. It really is. Highly suggest watching it. Number 3 is Anastasia. That would be the 1997 version. And I don't know why, I really liked it. The animation is kind of and her hair kind of changes length throughout the whole movie, which doesn't make any sense. But I just really loved this movie growing up. It's like a childhood favorite of mine. The music that they have, the storyline, where she has amnesia, but she ends up finding her grandmother anyways and everything. I don't know what it is about it, but it's just such a wholesome story. I just love it. Number 4 is The King and I. This is actually not very well known, which kind of surprises me. I grew up on The King and I with Yul Brynner, and almost nobody I talk to has ever heard of it before. But this is the description. A widow accepts a job as a live-in governess to the King of Siam's children. It's just the music is amazing. Roger and Hammerstein in general are amazing people. And just the storyline in general is so good. I love it so much. Highly, highly recommend watching it. Number 5, this actually is probably more like I'm on a roll. Chitty Chitty Bang Bang. Chitty Chitty Bang Bang is so good. The music, the art, the storyline, it was just so good. Not gonna lie, the Child Snatcher kind of freaked me out as a child, so that's a little freaky. Overall though, amazing movie. Number 6 is Roger and Hammerstein's Cinderella. This is the 1965 version, so this isn't the newer one, this is the older one. I don't know why, but out of all the Cinderella movies I've seen, Rogers and Hammerstein's just have a special place in my heart. Like, the music, the actresses, it's just so good. Number 7 is Les Miserables. In 19th century France, Jean Valjean, who for decades has been hunted by the ruthless policeman after breaking parole, agrees to care for a factory worker's daughter. The decision changes their lives forever. Obviously, this is about like the revolution and everything going on, and it is gory and it's heartbreaking and everything. It's definitely not a movie for children. But the music is so beautiful and the storyline is super important and informative and historical. I think it's just a really great movie to watch. And last but not least is October Baby. A college freshman's world is rocked when she learns she is the adopted survivor of a failed abortion. This is such an interesting movie, and overall the ups and downs that she has to overcome is insane. She ends up realizing that the issues she has, her asthma and everything, is due to her being a failed abortion. She ends up going and finding her real mom and realizes that her mom has a younger child, a younger daughter, and basically there's just these emotional turns and twists and everything, and it really gives you a perspective on what these abortion survivors have to go through when they realize that they were a victim of a failed abortion. Like, it is insane the amount of turmoil that they have to go through. Overall, it's a really heart-wrenching movie, but super interesting to watch and really important to see. All right, everyone, well, that was everything on my list. If you have seen these movies or you have seen other movies that are Catholic friendly, Catholic in general, TV shows that you enjoy, post them below and I might go check them out sometime. And I'm sure a lot of other people would like to see what everyone's interested in these days. So that is the end of the video. God bless.